This content is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained on here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer by Draper Goren Holm or any third-party service provider to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever.
Hey everyone, it is me. We are here. Joseph is here too. Say hi, Joseph.
Hey, what's up?
Boom, boom, boom. We're recording.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
I am recording this on the computer now.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Boom. All right. It says it's recording. Boom, 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 boom. I am apparently recording.
The entire bottle of control. They're all exactly the same.
Crypto art, and then what it really is an NFT.
Wow. Eddie wants to slap the bag.
So this is the next best thing.
DeFi is going to be a bubble.
It's provably scarce.
With Mad Dog.
Crypto, gold, and silver.
Transparent substance.
Take my money, start a war with it.
Without further ado.
Cheers to you, brother.
Get shit done.
Because the system has to collapse before that.
My corona. Cheers. I feel much better now.
Cheers.
Wow, that was heavy.
Boom. Welcome to Blockchain and Booze number 149. Holy crap, 149 weeks. I am alone up here, but I hope not for long. Alec, thank you. If you are like Alec watching on YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitter or anywhere else, go to blockchainbooze.io. Here we go, right here. It'll redirect you. What up, Rafe? It'll redirect you to the DGH events website. It'll be dghevents.com/whatever blockchain and booze. And if you haven't registered yet, you'll register and then you'll hop backstage and you'll be in the chat with the community, which means you'll be able to turn on your camera when I'm all done and hang out with the community. But this week I wanted it to be a community session, one of the ones where we all hop up on stage, update on what you're doing, what your startup is up to, how you're doing. The space has been absolutely bonkers for so many people. I'm going to throw the link actually back there right now. And I'll if you come backstage, I will let you on. Maybe one at a time. Maybe it'll get a little chaotic. There'll be a lot of people. It'll be fun. What up, Kryptonio? I think we can have a little fun together up here. There's a few things I wanted to hit at the beginning. One is something that I sometimes forget to thank Lunar Crush for streaming this and for being our streaming partner. And but I never fail to mention Lunar Crush about 87 times on each of these streams because not only an investor, but a super fanboy in them, full disclosure, but they launched trading yesterday and it is super, super sick. It is very exciting. So something that if you are a super user of Lunar Crush, you may do fairly regularly is hang out, look at, the current charts for Ethereum and see, how many new people are engaging and talking about Ethereum or any other token today versus yesterday, or this week versus last week, or this year versus last year, right? And see all the data and all of the details and all the stuff that Lunar Crush does. If you use it a little more intensely, you turn on notifications for certain tokens, right? So you might be like, I want to know when the social volume of, ApeCoin goes up 50% in 1 hour. I want you to text me and send me a mobile notification, whatever. And when you do that, you actually can back test the data. And it's a very simple back tested data, right? It's literally, it'll show you, if every time you bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, when this happens in the last year, you'd have 50,000, you would have spent $50,000 because it happened 50 times, and you would now own this much Bitcoin, and you were either profited this much or lost this much money, right? That was what the notifications used to send. Now they have alerts that will show you not just alerts based on what's already in your portfolio, because separately, I haven't even talked about yet, they launched a feature that follows wallets for you. So you could just paste in wallet address and follow it, or when you connect your wallets, it will actually look at your portfolio and give you those kind of alerts based on the things in your portfolio, which is really cool. And the alerts it gives you now, I'm talking about Lunar Crush right now. Sorry, somebody asked what I'm talking about, but I'm a super fan. Oops, I started typing it in the Lunar Crush. I'm gonna post in the comments so it'll show up everywhere on the feed. lunarcrush.com. How many times can I say Lunar Crush in a 10-second period of time? lunarcrush.com. I probably could be earning some Lunar tokens by sending you my link, but I'm not doing it. Like that's probably one of those, that's something they should track. The amount of referral links being shared on Twitter in any moment of time to like exchanges and things like that, where they reward you. Like, like Coinbase always does those promotions, like get $10 in Bitcoin by inviting someone. In in bull market situations, Twitter is just flooded with those referral links. But anyway, the thing that's cool about the new notifications are that I could probably show it, but now I actually need to create like a demo account now, because now I'm too dialed in and all my wallets are on there, and I don't want to be doing it blind. But what it will do now is it'll say something like Polygon, not Polygon. I was just looking at this Polymath or something, right? It'll be like social engagements for Polymath, like a token that you maybe didn't think of for a long time, or maybe one you don't even know about. It'll be like, are up 25% in this period of time. The last 10 times this happened, if you average it out, in 1 hour, it went up 2%. In 5 hours, it went down 2%. In 1 week, it went up 15%. And then there's a button to trade, right? And so you just act on that. Hold on, I just got a notification. Here we go. I just got a notification from Lunar Crush that says Lunar alt rank up 37.36%. Let's see if it actually like shows trading data on that particular one yet. Hold on, I'm looking down at my phone. So you guys are just seeing my face, but I'm looking at my phone. Oh, it doesn't show that yet, but I see I can click on the button to trade, right? But it's all about the sort of discovery now. It's just so cool because the alerts that we all kind of played with before, and all the data points. What up, Christina? Were something that the nerds amongst us looked at, but now they're coming through with like actionable intent. And maybe you want to trade on them, maybe you don't, but it's just cool to have it all in one spot like that. And I especially am nerding out on the fact that you can now see the kind of chart of all of your wallets, and it's not also just Ethereum or just EVM. It will show you it'll show you all of your wallets. It'll show you Zilliqa. It'll show you Bitcoin. It will show you Stacks, and hopefully soon Tezos and a bunch of others. So it's really, really cool. Like you can watch a ton of wallets in one place and kind of check your portfolio, and then you can trade. And by the way, the trades can also go cross chain. So I could be like trade 0.1 ETH for Lunar on Zilliqa, right? Like, and it will route it all and do all that stuff. So it's really, really fun. Look away, but it keeps your eyes. Yeah, Rich, I saw that. It's super creepy. Rich just responded when I was looking at my phone. There is, I think it was like NVIDIA or somebody that makes graphics cards is using AI to make it to where you look, even when you look away, like if I look down at my phone or look to the side, or I'm not looking directly at the camera, because who looks at the camera? They look at the video. It will actually, with AI, keep your eyes pointed at the camera So like, so if you move your head and you're like not paying attention or reading NVIDIA, yeah, it's a really kind of creepy but really awesome video. And if it gets just a little bit more natural, which it's all going that direction, it'd be pretty awesome, because almost every video, I think we've gotten used to people not really looking exactly at the camera. We're just looking a little bit to the side. I see a couple of you backstage. I'm gonna throw Adele up real quick because I'm seeing you on the end. You have your camera on. I also see you. See a few of you. Some have your camera, some don't. So I'm gonna throw the people of you that have your cameras up first. But Adele, how you doing?
Good. How about you? Nice to see you again.
You too. We were just talking about Lunar Crush earlier, and it's, you know, I'm so stoked to see the update. So I wanted to jump in and start talking about that. But everyone who's played around with it in the past should check it out. Anyone who hasn't, I don't know. I've told everyone I'm a fanboy. I'm a little conflicted, but you know, check it out.
For me, kind of like, you know, because my PhD is in machine learning, artificial intelligence. So I had so many discussions with John and Joe about like their algorithms and what they are using, and kind of like how to link that, what happens next, and how you do predictions, and to see where Lunar Crush came from, like started from way there implementing stuff, and now bringing it all together. The sentiment, the analysis, the community, and the trading all together, so you can get the information, get the intel, and do the trade right there.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I think it's super cool. And I see you, by the way, I see you backstage, Pavan and Dr. James. I'm gonna bring you up, but I brought the oldest OGs on first. If people don't know yet, cheers. Dave, I'm drinking, by the way. I saw everyone talking about all the amazing drinks they have, and some people are talking about like old whiskey and things like that. I'm drinking a Pepsi. All I wanted, oh God, nobody knows this reference, but go look up. All I wanted was a Pepsi. Google that, and you'll be very excited by an old school punk rock music video. All I wanted was a Pepsi. But anyway, it is super impressive, right? David, you mentioned you don't own any Lunar. I'm not gonna suggest people buy any tokens or anything like that, even with the disclaimer and all that. Do your own research. Everyone make your own decision. But if you get Lunar Crush and you just use it every day, you start earning Lunar.
That's what
So
I thought.
I have a few hundred Lunar in Lunar Crush because I've never sold any Lunar or done anything like that. So
that's what I thought. So I wasn't sure, because I mean, maybe I don't use it enough or something like that, but I don't think I don't know, where do people check for that?
In the app. So if you turn on notifications every day and you use Lunar Crush every day you'll get a notification saying today you earned 0.01 Lunar, or whatever the amount is for the day. And the way it's calculated is pretty neat. They have like a daily. Yeah, Roberto figured it out. I'm not gonna say it yet in the chat. He instantly knew what the all I wanted was a Pepsi was. Sorry.
So are you able to plug your wallet in now to Lunar Crush, so it kind of tracks what you're holding as well?
Yes. So that's part of it. So you can either connect it, or you can just watch. Yeah. Or you just watch a wallet, and it's cool. So in a way, it's similar to Zerion, right? But it has a bunch of networks. So it watches all the chains and things like that. But it's also, more importantly, gives you insights on what you do, right? Based on their data. And that's really super fun.
Well, that's huge. That's huge in this space. I mean, for me, myself, like I like using something like DBank, and we just follow a whole bunch of wallets and watch where the whales are playing. So yeah, it's definitely a useful tool.
I think reading between the lines, and I can't confirm anything, the fact that they're now notifying us of what's happening on chain of the wallets that we're watching makes me feel like some of that on-chain data might start showing up in some of their analysis. And honestly, I haven't talked to them about it quite yet. I actually had a call with Rivet earlier today going, you got to talk to Lunar Crush because you guys could throw some steroids on that. But that would be cool. Yeah. Christina, by the way, said David Rankin for DGH class president. I agree. Blockchain booze, OG #1 with the most.
Well, I don't know. Did I lose out since we moved to Wednesday? I was wondering, are we moving to Tuesday, or are we keeping it on Wednesday?
I feel like you banked enough you banked enough hours in advance. So I think you still got it. I mean, you probably have more hours than me because of those after hours sessions that used to
Oh, if we count those, yeah, for sure.
By the way, if can you maybe do a quick refresh of your browser or something? Your like video is delayed from your voice or something a little weird.
I know. I'm totally shutting things down in the background, trying to figure that out too.
Okay. All right, cool. What's going on, dude? Art or die?
I'm doing well. We got some recent KPIs that suggested we go a different direction with the Art or Die battles. And so what we did was we found that across the board, people have, especially people that are new to Web3, have problems getting into Decentraland. You basically have to have a desktop browser and a computer with a good graphics card to do it. So that limits a lot of people from playing and voting in our battles, because previously you had to get into Decentraland to vote in our battles. So
it's kind of part of the fun, but it also is a detractor. But there's going to be more and more lightweight metaverses. Maybe David actually might be somebody to talk to about that. But what are you guys doing instead?
Well, we realized this because I go ahead and I build custom curated galleries for the artists that are in the battle in voxels, and that's where people can go to see the rest of their art portfolio. And this last week, I gave the link to one of our artists in the battle, and he must have put it on TikTok or something, but we had just under 5,000 visitors to our voxels gallery in 2 days. So we realized that there is a draw there, but that it's too hard for people to get into Decentraland to vote. So what we did was, if I can present, can I present?
Yeah, I think you can.
Easier to get into too. Voxels
Yeah, Decentraland is really heavy and intensive on your computer.
Right. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
David, but yeah, try to share it and I'll put it up.
Do you guys see this?
Boom.
So this is our website, artordie.xyz. So what we did was we made it so you can connect your wallet to our website and vote in the battle. And that way, that's there we go. There we go. So when you vote in the battle, it updates the vote in the game, in Decentraland.
That's super cool. That's really, really great.
So it's going to allow people that can't get into Decentraland to vote in our battles, and we believe that's going to further drive interest in the battles.
I think that's super fun, and we'll see. I bet we'll see what all sorts of data and things. Let me know when the next kind of ones start that we can get the community in, or is there already ones up there we should start looking at?
We still have it up for testing purposes. We literally just got working before the show.
Cool.
But we'll start a new battle on Monday, and it'll run we'll start them on Mondays and they'll run until Wednesdays. So it'll give people plenty of time to vote in them.
Heck yeah, that's super cool. David, are there? I'm gonna start bringing more people on stage in a second, but what are the most like lightweight and easy to use metaverses that exist right now? Because like Decentraland, like just completely like takes over all your resources like instantly. So but what was crazy is when you did the other side. I don't know if you did the other side test. That test was in browser, no downloads, and just performed so much better than all the rest. It was pretty sick.
I'm sorry if I'm still lagging. I don't know what's going on with the Mac right now. So there are a couple. One, he mentioned crypto voxels, right? Crypto voxels I'm a big fan of. Personally, I like owning the property in the space. Another couple metaverses. One is on Cyber. You can own property, but like you own it, but it's like you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is on Cyber, typically you're going to have a link that you share with other people. They do have a metaverse gallery, but they're all kind of connected together. So it's a little bit separate. But if you have a link that you have to share with people that you want to invite people to, on Cyber works. Another one is Spatial. Spatial is very similar to on Cyber. in that you can create something. So like I actually made a 3D model house that I exported it from an architectural software, cleaned it up, and then brought the GLB file into Spatial and actually had a replica of a house that then I could have a party with friends. And then I could send people that, and then you can have multiple galleries that send people from one gallery to another gallery, which is really neat. Another one, and here's a little bit of alpha, and I'm sorry for all the lag. Another one that is 2D based,
Get your pens out, everyone.
Which I originally shared with you. It's called MG Land.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of alpha. MG Land is actually doing a land airdrop tomorrow, starting in 10 hours and 37 minutes. And so I'm going to probably be picking up a little extra of that. I already bought 2 large properties on the last land mint. And I actually created a property that I call the DeFi Mafia.mg.land. That's the website.
You texted it to me, but do you want to share it with everyone right now? Should I put it in the chat?
Yeah, we can put it in the chat, in the background chat. And it's kind of cool. And what my goal on that was to create a space where people can actually go and learn about DeFi. And so what happens is, Lunar Crush there's all these buildings in there, and every building is associated with a link, associated with something from DeFi. So I have links to Aave in there, links to Compound, links to Lunar Crush, all these various links in there. So that way people can actually go in there and click on it and take a look at the different protocols.
By the way, your link, it looks like it's about to load and then it pops up like a 404.
Well, I put a new one in there.
Oh, you put a second one?
Yeah, I put a second one in there.
Oh, okay. I always saw the first one. So, Mafia.mg.land. Okay.
Yeah. So what's really cool, and I actually own some more property in there. So I am going to buy hopefully some more tomorrow if people don't get to it first. But one of the things I'm also doing in there is I can put YouTube videos in there too. So people can actually go and click on it and actually watch the YouTube video. And I give some tutorials of like, how does a Uniswap V3 pool work? And explaining some of that. So there's some really cool features. Not only that, but there's also games that can be played in there that are actually part of the platform that you can import. So that way there's like a little poker game that people can play for stars. And there's another skiing game that people can play. So it has a lot of real cool functionalities, and it's really simple. The application actually works on your phone as well. It is 2D. So, it's basic, but it's something that everybody can have access to.
You know what I've learned, and I was talking about this a lot, and I'll play around with it later so I don't get too distracted. But I've been posting a lot about this because I have become a little bit obsessed looking over my kids playing on Roblox, and they got me sucked into playing some games with them. And every Saturday, I think it's Saturday, maybe it's Sunday morning, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday morning, a game called Pet Simulator X does an update, and they purposely do an update once a week. And if you're online during like the 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after the update or whatever, there's a countdown, like where it goes 10 seconds, like on New Year's every single week, where like if you go in the town square and you watch this 10-second countdown, but you're there for a few minutes before and after, you get an egg. You get a collectible basically, and then it hatches and you get like a special pet that you only get if you're there during the update. It's a free egg or whatever.
Interesting.
Every freaking weekend, over 1 million kids are there collecting that egg. Oh, 1 million. This weekend was like the second or third weekend I went into it purposely with my kids to watch it, because I was thinking about this. Like I was watching the football games, right? Like over the last weekend. And I was like, more people are going into Roblox to be there during this update than watch the championship football games at the same time. Like think about like how many people that is and how valuable that is. Roblox, every weekend, people freak out on this Pet Simulator X game because they blame the like any problems that Roblox has on this game, because they're like, fucking Pet Simulator X is breaking Roblox again. They had over 9 million concurrent users on Roblox, and Roblox went down this last weekend. Everyone was freaking out, blaming this one game. But this happens every weekend. Like,
what do they get for the
one company, one metaverse that did even 1% of that, that it would blow our whole space out of the water.
What does the egg do?
It hatches into a pet that lets you open up more containers, that lets you then get more eggs to hatch more pets. It's a game. But
well, it sounds like they're doing it right.
Yeah. Oh, the thing is, every single thing along the way, like the gameplay, and why it came into what I was about to say. When you talk about the gameplay, it's just addicting. It's a simple game and whatever. But Roblox is a platform, right? There's hundreds or thousands of game developers that are building on that platform, and they all benefit each other, and it's this ecosystem, whatever. But the thing that's crazy is when you talk about, I have to be there at a certain time to get the drop, basically, right? And then I get that drop and I get a thing. Imagine how this accelerates when this is natural and normal to these kids. When you start going like, but then I took that egg and I went to my friend John at school and I went, I'll trade your egg for my egg, or I'll give me $20. I'll send you my egg. All of a sudden it'll turn into like the next Pokemon card, the next comic books, the next thing. And that's where it gets crazy. But what I was just going to say is, you said the 2D thing. Roblox, I think part of why it's so engaging is because it's not good graphics. It's like purposely shit graphics. That's just, it's more about the gameplay and the mechanics of the game and how viral it is, like how much it pulls you in there, than it is the graphics. So you don't look at it going like, oh man, I wish it looked more photorealistic. You don't think that because it's not even the style. It's like you don't play Super Mario Brothers because it's super photorealistic. It's just a super engaging game, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
the reason why people still play games from Nintendo 64.
I mean, yeah, those games were super fun and they weren't there yet, but they upped the graphics, but just in a different way. But they didn't try to make them photorealistic. And I think there's a space for photorealistic games. Like, it's freaking awesome. There's some of them are cool, but what I'm saying is it's not necessary, right? You don't have to try and get the graphics all crazy. You actually just need to have a platform that works. I'm gonna start throwing more people up on stage, but you guys stay on. Let's just make it a party.
Alon, I just forwarded you over in the chat this isometric game called Philand, right? PHI land.xyz, and it's kind of nothing. There's no real game to it, but what it is a piece of land. You connect your hardware wallet with it, and it'll give you a little trophy for everything you've done in DeFi. And so
I remember there's been a few of these in the past where it's like, how big of a degen are you, or what's your ranking?
I loved it. I can't fill the whole thing up.
I love it too. It's super fun because it also, I think this space naturally has a way of rewarding all of us who experiment the most. And what it does is it kind of like, it makes you want to experiment more when you find out about some random airdrop that, like, man, I wish I would have played with this 6 months ago. And when you get these kind of things, it then kind of reinforces that, makes you keep learning and playing with things that you maybe wouldn't have played with, but you learn a lot. Kevin, I think you were back there the longest, and I texted you before we went online because I was hoping you'd hop on. How you doing? What's the latest?
I'm good. A lot of things for us, a lot of things for Tezos ecosystem. Just keeping the backdrop to let people know. Locally, I don't know if you heard, the California DMV is going to be implementing Tezos as for all things like services, registrations, all that. It's good for Tezos, but it's good for consumers just in general that blockchain is being used for a U.S. government agency. It's a state level, sure. How important this
took
is.
Me because I'm such a fan of Tezos. It took me everything to not post like really bad, funny DMV memes though, because it is like the butt of all jokes, right? Like, I instantly thought of that one pet movie was Zootopia. Was Zootopia, was it? Where the DMV guy was the sloth, and it was like,
right.
If you have kids, Adele has kids. He probably saw it.
That's right.
I think about I think some people commented in some tweets about, I don't know if it was one of mine but like people who were just resistant to the idea, like they don't like the California DMV for whatever, just like people get all up in arms about any agent, the post office, right? And it's like, oh, this is like saying that it's like a bad, like thinking of it as bad for Tezos. It's like, wait a minute, where do you want the converted to come from? don't you want it to be cleaning up the things that you don't like and making it all the things that you do like? Isn't that kind of the point of all this? Isn't it like the idea that we can overhaul this stuff and with these decentralized technologies and have better quality at much greater efficiency, lower cost, all that stuff, so that you can get satisfied with those agencies? That's the whole point, right?
Yeah. No,
So,
it's a huge move. I think it's a pilot.
Yeah.
If I understood it correctly, for everyone watching, the DMV is doing a pilot where they're replicating basically their database onto or a certain portion of it onto Tezos and testing how it would work if the titles were all on the blockchain and stuff like that. And it's kind of like the first pilot of, let's see how this could work if we put all the car titles on the blockchain and made it easy to transfer and verify and all that stuff in just a better way. Which I think is, I think it's a huge and interesting use case. I joke, because it's the DMV, it's like, again, it's the butt of all jokes, but I'm a huge Tezos fan. And I think that regardless, it's a pretty cool move. David, you asked if the DMV was running their own Tezos nodes. As far as I understood, they hired a company that's kind of running the pilot for them.
So it's Oxhead Alpha. Oxhead Alpha is they mainly do core development, but they also put out standards, and that's what spun off of the old, if people remember, TQ Tocqueville Group. It was the development arm of that. So they're U.S. based, I'm pretty sure, and then they're working with the DMV. That's how the partnership came about. I'm still trying to get more information. It's very new, but it's like it's a pretty big get, I think, for any blockchain based ecosystem. I mean, the kind of implicit endorsement that is that there's even the trust to begin exploring these types of technologies for real solutions to not as contending with government institutions and security and all of that, but enhancing it. And then people can start to reframe, I think, in general, their position of what these technologies actually mean, and why anyone assigned any value to them in the first place, and will more in the future.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see, let's see how this pilot goes and stuff. But can Brad Sherman, for example, who is a congressman in Southern California, right? Like, he's a few districts over from where we live. I mean, from me one direction, from you another direction, Kevin. But he's gone on stage basically saying our whole space is a sham and a scam, right? But like, if our space is powering the California DMV, can it really be a scam? Or are you saying that you're a part of that scam? I mean, I would love to see a politician be like, you know what? I wasn't wrong about crypto. I'm just a part of the system that's scamming everyone. Like that kind of, that would make me happy, like even if they were dissing us still, but at least being honest about themselves, that would be fun.
Or the ones who were like dissing Obamacare and then they used Obamacare, or they were dissing, or was it Rand Paul was complaining about like, Canadian system, and then he went to Canada for his hernia operation. So to me, it's like kind of one of those, but it really is, I think, a lot more. I'm really optimistic because I think a lot of regulators are now knowing what the right side of history is, and it's aligned with science and technology. So you can't really stop the pace of it. I mean, you can maybe add more to it, like you can add more research, increase competition, increase fluidity in the system. And have it grow and diversify and all of that, but you can't just pump the brakes on technology that's accelerating at this moment in its use cases.
It's just, I'm constantly saying stuff like this. And I just said it on another call, right? Like, we hit these roadblocks, and it sound like I said Roblox. Maybe it's in my brain. I'm telling you. Okay, here's the thing. I started playing with my kids randomly. And it was like like I'm going to be a good dad and hang with my kids, and they're on the laptop and the iPad, and I'll pull up my phone and sign in so I could be on Pet Simulator X with them. Like, how silly, whatever. And then cut to like later that night, laying in bed with my wife, watching stupid TV and pulling up Roblox on my phone to play for like 3 hours straight by myself. Right. It's like, you get sucked into these things and it's, I can't even pretend anymore. It's just because of the kids. Like I'm just as obsessed as they are. But going, we hit these roadblocks in our industry, right? And they're human errors, they're problems, there's shit that just happens, right? And there's just out of each of our individual controls, but as an industry, it sucks, right? And it hits people different ways. And we may not have direct exposure to it, but an investor that's a friend of ours does, or somebody you're going to fundraise right now, and it makes their life much harder, right? And these things happen. And market conditions could really screw with some of us, right? And some of our friends might lose their jobs, or their companies won't be able to raise money, or bad things happen. But in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, is this space going to be a part of every single thing that we do in the way the internet? Remember, 10 years ago, when you started a company, you would say, I'm starting an internet company. Nobody says that now. Now every company is an internet company. If you're not an internet company, you don't really exist. Like Walmart is an internet company more than they are a physical company, right? Like if you think about that way, like not that I want to talk about Walmart being wonderful or anything like that, they're not. But like the idea that every single institution exists on the internet today in some way, shape, or form. And that's how I believe our space will be. So, being here early, making it through this, whether you make it or not, you're making it through this in the long term, right? Like that's the what I'm excited about. But hey, we also brought Pavan and Dr. James and Kurt. Kurt, are you joining us from Adele's living room too? Are you guys just sitting next to each other?
We bought identical homes.
Yeah.
Those Nashville track homes are they even come with furniture,
identical ones
on crypto.
Kurt, where are you joining us from?
I'm right now in Oregon.
Okay. That's the accent. I was trying to figure it out.
Accent.
Sorry, that's my old man joke. That's my favorite old man joke always. Is when somebody has an accent.
I'm originally from Kazakhstan, but I'm Russian.
Okay. What are you working on?
I'm working on we just launched with my team the project. It's a website called Store. I'm putting it in chat.
Oh, cool. Share with us. What does the website do? Oh, you put it in the private chat. I'll share it with storecryptosafe.com. Tell us about that. Actually, I'm going to do an episode soon. I was just texting or DMing with somebody on Twitter.
It's a basically attempt to put in one website all about how to store crypto safely.
So like how to use hardware wallets and
how to use hardware wallets. We have reviewed probably about 60 hardware wallets there.
So from your experience, what's the current top hardware wallet that you recommend everyone use?
I honestly don't remember from the top of my head. I have to look up.
Which one do you use?
I use Elipal, and I actually like it. The only concern about the Elipal, it's not completely open source. But it's a Hong Kong company. And it's hard to say when you have so much, let's say, if I go to the most secure hardware wallets, we have there about 3 pages.
Yeah.
And it depends on price. And we still dig in some information, because one of the biggest concerns right now people have, I think, that's which wallet has KYC.
Interesting. Oh, you mean like when you go to purchase it, that they're going to share the information eventually with the government?
Some wallets are required KYC, like Ledger. You cannot open account on wallet on Ledger without KYC.
That's insane. That's a new thing because of French and EU regulation, right? Because
I don't know, because some wallets do not require KYC.
I think it just depends. There was some EU regulation that came out at some point recently that said kind of like host, like even like it's impossible to enforce in some ways, depending on which wallet standard you use. But they're trying to impose on the companies that sell self-custody wallets to share the information and some weird stuff like that, which is total BS and kind of insane. But I did, just throwing it out there, I was talking to Corey that everyone in the community knows from Dolomite about hardware wallets, and he was singing the praises of the Grid wallet. I haven't played with one yet, but it's the same one that they had in the that they used in the Billions TV show. You remember, like, there was an episode where like the guy purposely put in the wrong passwords into the wallet and lost like $1 billion because he was doing something illegal and he would rather lose it completely than get caught. Like there was something like, I forgot, there was some very dramatic storyline. But the Grid wallet was in that show, and I was like, the one from the TV show, is it really a good one? And he loves it. And apparently they keep getting back ordered, and then they keep.
I don't see the Grid wallet in the our review at all. But the most important thing, I think, I see Grid. It's one of the makes expensive ones.
Yeah, but it has a bigger screen, so it makes it easier to confirm transactions and not sort of fat finger things and just be like, it looks about right. Like, I think that's the biggest problem with MetaMask in general, and it probably translates into hardware wallets where there's no screen or there's a tiny screen and people like don't actually look to confirm the addresses. They're just like, yeah, it's good, And it's just, I think it tries to solve that problem.
The most important thing I think people have to remember that if you have your backup mnemonic phrase, you can restore your funds in any wallet. So the true holder of your funds is this mnemonic phrase or passphrase, whatever you use. And we emphasize this in we have a special rating for crypto wallet.
Yeah, I don't want to live in a world like, remember the funny, it was sort of like a meme or the funny joke that 10 years ago when everybody had separate keyboards and stuff like that at your desktop, and you still do if you have like a legit setup, but like, it was always this joke at workplaces and things like that. If you picked up people's keyboard, there'd be like a Post-it note with the password. I don't want to live in this world where everybody has their seed phrases on Post-it notes, just like in their desk drawers. Don't do that.
That's interesting controversy I think we're gonna face in the near future with this self-custody, because at some point I think we will need some kind of local storage, like I would say banks, where we could safely store.
I had a talk with my kids, actually. It was really funny. There was a bank in our area called, I think it was called like First Bank or something like that, First Bank of the West, and then it was rebranded as First Bank. But there was an empty bank building that they're out of business or they moved or something, and it said First Bank. And I said, we should get that, and we should rebrand the building and call it Last Bank. and like make it like a crypto bank and this and that. But like, maybe the move would be to take one of those hey Cooper, Coop, what's happening? Came late. You should hop up here and update everyone. Find the link up top. But it might be a way to repurpose an old bank's like vault that doesn't get used very much because they have the safe deposit boxes. Maybe there's like a solution where you can slip,
I think in the future we
That's what I was going to say. I think a lot of banks actually started reducing the amount of safety deposit boxes they have, right? When we're actually going to probably need more of those in the future.
I think so,
with fireproof, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to go full circle, because once there's semi-decentralized or trustless solutions that are not exactly trustless, like that somehow go through your bank or through a trusted source or something, people are going to gravitate towards that, because at the end of the day, most people, the idea of just holding their own seed phrase and hold like a hardware wallet is just insanity to them. And it's in the same way as like saying, like, even if you had, most of us don't have this luxury, but let's say we had, $1 million in cash. Like, we might not trust the bank, think that the bank is great or whatever, but I don't know anyone who would just keep that under their mattress or keep some gold bricks in their house, right? Like, maybe there's some crazy people with safes and things like that, but 99.9% of people want to just put it somewhere.
Yeah, but Alon, they're going to wait until the generation doesn't know and doesn't remember a history where when people put their money in their gold into the banks, they never got it back, and the government took it.
That's true.
That's my
there's a reason why my grandfather kept all of his money in his house. Because the banks aren't trustworthy.
There's a reason why gold is found buried outside.
Yeah.
Well, it could be community, community vault. If you live in a community and you agreed, because everybody traveling and whatever, and you agreed to create some kind of, combined vault where you can leave your belongings. I don't know.
Okay, here's the idea. You need Bitcoin wallet time capsules that you can bury in the ground that are waterproof.
Well, if you make the time capsule, the time on chain and all that stuff, you don't need to bury anything. It's just time locked, right? Like, but burying it makes it more fun. Coop, I don't see. Oh, Coop is there. Dr. James, we didn't say hi to you yet, and Pavan, we didn't say hi to you yet. Dr. James,
what's happening, everybody all across the world?
Doing awesome. Excited to be here. I'm trying to see the different versions. I like this better. Any updates on what you're working on? Anything fun?
Yeah, our pet project, or my pet project, is the Devo protocol, decentralized volunteering. So we're just steadily moving along, refining our decentralized applications. That's the main platform for all the interactions that's going to allow the volunteers, volunteer organizations, donors, and corporate sponsors to transparently interact with one another. So putting a lot of energies into perfecting our version 1 of our DApp, but we got a couple of POCs currently running on it. So we're excited, man. So, but again, just really, really focusing on putting a really good product out there. So that's where our energies are right now.
Excited to get the update. And we got to do a hang session soon where we hear a lot more about it. Dr. James hopped on Blockchain and Booze with me live at LA Blockchain Summit, so I got a little early info, but we got to get more of the latest.
In that session, by the way, put my life on a new path, man. So I really appreciate, it just really put a lot of wind under my wings, right? So really appreciate
I'm glad we had a good time. You were up there with us. But you know what? It's all you. I'm just hanging here, and everyone's doing the hard work, and I just get to like be everyone's wingman and throw some things together and have some fun, and live vicariously through all the amazing entrepreneurs. But Pavan, why don't you give us an update? What are you working on, man? And then we got to hear from Coop and Timed. You joined a little late, but haven't seen you guys in a while.
So hi, thank you, Mr. Goren. I'm Pavan. I actually had the privilege of speaking at LA Blockchain Summit like 3 years ago, before it happened. So thank you for that. That pretty much changed my life. It was about data ownership on a blockchain. Right now, I am a smart contract developer, so I do mainly work with the Ethereum blockchain and EVM compatible blockchains. Recently, I was able to deploy. I get a lot of outside clients, but I also work as a blockchain developer for a fintech bank where I built a permission blockchain for them using my tech stack was Docker, Hyperledger. I use CouchDB to store the off-chain data, and that was something. Oh, and AWS that was their requirements. They just wanted it on AWS. But also in my spare time, I take on outside clients, and I was working with an organization to put their NFTs on OpenSea. I told them about the benefit of NFTs, and right now the thing I am focusing on, laser focus on, are two things. decentralized autonomous organizations, building them, and tokenization of real life assets. Like
you gotta, there's like a combo. What's interesting is like the real life assets and DAOs are a bit of a minefield when you put them together. Both on their own are amazing things, but if they can be put together in some sort of compliant way, and I say compliant in a loose way because I don't really care that much. I want it to be compliant enough to where it can't be taken down by people who may not want it to be there.
Like
lack of a, it's tough, but it's interesting, Pavan. There's lots of interesting connections to what you're doing. Do you, when you're talking about DAOs, are there any sort of open source starting points you prefer or are looking at, or are you?
So my main libraries of choice when I'm building these or developing these, of course, I use Solidity as a smart contract language, but I'm using Open Zeppelin for the DAOs. For the tokenization, if I have to pull real life data, I am looking into Chainlink's oracles and importing them into the smart contracts to test those. Oh, by the way, you guys, cheers. I have my Basil Hayden, like I said. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. So those are mainly the frameworks, but I would say 80% of my time is spent, of my free time is spent on tokenizing, because I think that that's going to be the next big thing in crypto as it relates to NFTs. So taking a real life asset, like say like this bottle, for example, that may be worth $200,000, for example, breaking this up, like converting this into an NFT and then breaking this up into ERC20 tokens and issuing them to investors to have partial ownership of this.
So you got to be careful, because the second something is fractionalized, it becomes a security, and then there's all these rules. So there's certain ways and things to get around certain parts of it, but there's lots of like that. That's where I was talking about the minefields, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's a full-on DAO and it's a group of hundreds of people doing something together and voting on chain, and the vote is the thing that creates the thing, then there is a little few degrees of separation, but there's just some interesting stuff. We should do like a hang session just to talk about some of these things. But there was I played around the last time I actually played with some DAO tooling. I actually was testing. There was on Tezos. It wasn't DAO Stack or one of those groups doing a Tezos open source DAO implementation. I don't remember if it was DAO Stack or one of the other ones. And I actually ran it on the test net and tested launching a DAO using it. But it's been
it was Stack something or other. They do it for like all the different blockchains. They partnered with I think some of the devs at Commons actually, and they put out Homebase. It's called Homebase.
Oh, Homebase, yeah. I ran that locally on my machine and tried to do it, and I broke everything. And but it was a super fun, interesting thing to play with. I would love to hop back into some of those things, because now the tools are just so much different. It used to be back then, and I'm talking about back then, 2 years ago, that pretty much every DAO had to build most of the tooling themselves, right? And now there's got to be a lot of pre-built and interesting tools, right?
I mean, there were like really cookie cutter DAO tech things that I saw, not on Tezos, but like other chains. And I think, but like when it started on Tezos, I feel, I mean, it is like ultimately you have to kind of let where demand pull you in the direction of development. You can't really just guess what controls a DAO would need. So even if it's something is customizable, adaptable, that's still in a limited scope based on the creator's perception of what are the various sizes and methods and modes that you can cut a DAO. But that, like, we're all just kind of discovering it. DAOs themselves constantly change or propose to change over time.
I didn't even think about it, but we were talking about fractionalization. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Because the DAOs are evolving in general, so everything needs to evolve.
But also what I mentioned before with the having a DAO and real world assets, I feel like a version of that we have so commonly like the closest parallel that comes to mind is HOAs, because you do have like some kind of a fractionalized asset.
Here, I'm telling you guys, I've went down this path recently, and it's partly because I'm like a nerd. I'm like, everybody knows me as a nerd for the punk rock stuff because I bring it up like every single time and find a way to squeeze it into every conversation. But I'm also, as much as I'm a nerd for punk rock stuff, I have a little bit of this obsession with old folk music, like pre-World War II, Woody Guthrie, very nerdy stuff if you start like paying attention to it. And I was listening to it the other day, and I was kind of like in this weird zone where I tried to see which songs I could play just off the top of my head in a room with no screens and see if I could remember the words to all these songs. And I was just goofing around, and I started going down this rabbit hole in my mind of this idea of back then, everybody was singing about unions because they absolutely freaking needed it, right? Now we look at unions and there's some that are very essential and some that are like bloated bureaucracies in themselves. But if we think about this decentralized world, if we sound like insane people when people go like, we're going to create this open virtual countries where we have citizenship on the blockchain and who cares where you are in the world. Like, those ideas sound like insanity. But if you reframe them and you went like, this is a new style of union. We're going to all come together and collectively bargain or collectively work together to create healthcare that's usable, insurance that's going to still be there tomorrow, and whatever. All the things that the government is supposed to do for us, or at least has said they're going to do for us, but never have actually provided. If we do it ourselves without geographic borders, we just do it, we're essentially becoming like a new form of insurance company or a new form of retirement company or a new form of whatever it is. But altogether, it's basically a new kind of union. And I started going down this rabbit hole in my mind. And it's where DAOs, I think, will eventually shine. Today, we're like, okay, the DAO is going to come together. We can vote on fractionalizing a bottle of whiskey, and ooh, that's fun. And that's super cool. But it is a step towards real freedom. And it sounds like ridiculous. And, everyone, it's the walk then run, but it's going to happen. I think there's something there. I'm going to do something. We're running over time, and I'm going to kick almost everybody off stage. And I want to throw Pravi on, and I haven't said hi to Coop or Timed, so I'm going to leave Coop and Timed on. The rest of you guys, I love you. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to see you next week. I appreciate you all. We're going to, we'll see you soon.
Hey, Alon, one thing.
Yep.
DAOs, my fear is capturing of DAOs. By capturing those tokens in that vote, I think a lot of it has to be driven through protocols.
Yeah.
Decentralized protocols.
I think there's gonna be some cool stuff. It's gonna get real interesting real soon. So, and by the way, for anyone who's on, we're gonna turn on the ability to turn on your camera when we get off stage. But I wanted at least 2 minutes before I have to run off to say hi to Pravi out in Miami. I'm gonna kick David and James off now. I'll see you guys backstage. Move, boom. What's up, guys?
What up, guys? Yeah, but the quantum.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about the quantum conference that was just happening in Miami.
Yeah. So that was.
What was the most interesting thing at quantum?
My friend got an NFT for.
Oh, were you there, Time? Did you go to Miami?
Yeah, I was out there for a couple of days. I had to go out there for a little bit, and then actually I had to head back to LA for the 27th for Bob Marley thing that we had with a space that we had about like 200 people at.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Wait, you know what? You posted something. You posted something in the comments that I brought up on stage for a second before you came on. you're doing helping people with cancer treatments and things like that. Give everyone the update. That's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So normally I do this. I mean, we do this. I do this like we do it once a month. I do IVIGs for I go I help somebody out to get IVIG at the hospital. They spend like 4 hours there or something like that getting IVIG, and then bring them back to to house. So
Oh, so you literally volunteer to drive them to the hospital and drive them home and all that?
Yeah, just make sure I'm looking after them, make sure they because they get a lot of people have reactions afterwards. So
yeah,
I'm normally always doing this like at least once a month, and then
that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
See, we all talk, this game, and we all talk about donating. We do donate and we do things, whatever. But actually, physically going and doing that shit, that's the real thing. So, dude, that's amazing. Let us know if there's ever something we can help with. Maybe we could try to do some community something to help that organization or whatever. That's amazing. I love that. Coop, we didn't even say hi to you yet. You're so chill and just hanging out.
Because I'm about to work out at the gym, man. I'm in front of my gym right now. I'm about to work out, but I got my beer and my weed right here, so But no,
good.
But look, I know I'm the crazy one. No, I'm the crazy one, but I just want to say thank you for bringing me on stage. What's up, everybody? It's good to know a lot of the faces on stage now.
What up, Coop?
And I'm doing a lot of different stuff. I'm just gonna go down the list real fast. The number one thing that I'm working on is I just got a fellowship with the Global Digital Currency Authority. So like the fellowship is a little bit better than the internship. So I'm working with them now, and I'm working on this social media strategy unofficially. I'm also going to be speaking at my alma mater in a couple of weeks at Bowie State University. That was the college I graduated from.
Nice.
And I tried to help spearhead their Bowie State Blockchain Association. So I was working with Mouse Bell and a bunch of people back in the day, but I'm not anymore. So hopefully that'll go good. I'm going to be talking about metaverses on a panel. I just partnered up with a company called hiphop.game, and they're creating NFT cards and a trading game and a hip hop trading game with actual artists all over the country that are doing big things, actually internationally. So I'm working with them. I just got interviewed by the Associated Press.
Let's get them on Blockchain and Blues one week. That would be so
sure.
cool.
I'm gonna get the guy that runs that in contact with you, and I'm gonna try to get y'all to have a quick meeting so I can talk about things and stuff. What else is going on? Oh, I just became a certified blockchain expert. Got my certification a week and a half ago, under the Blockchain Council, which is based out of India. So that was another thing I reached. And the last thing I'm working on is, my personal consulting business, DCS Crypto, is growing. And I'm still working on that NFT album we talked about. So I'm a little bit closer now. I'm going to release it on Bitcoin and Tezos. I'm probably going to do my airdrops through Tezos using the Kukai wallet, the same way you did.
It's really cool. There's some drawbacks. We'll do a hang session. There's some drawbacks on how it's kind of hard. I wish that somebody created a script or built something that could do a mass airdrop instead of doing it one at a time. But regardless, it's really cool. The user experience is awesome. You log into the wallet with your Twitter account, so it's just super cool.
Right. So that's the last thing. I don't want to take too much time. It's really good hearing everybody speak. I'm in good spirits, and I'm still gonna wild out and be the crazy one at the meetup. So I just been busy, man. I've been trying to find me a wife, to be honest with everybody. I've been laying low trying to holler at this girl and going out of state. But I'm just trying to find me a wife. So that's what I've been doing, man. I'm getting old. I don't want to die alone. I don't want to have crypto and die alone. You know what I'm saying? So
we're all getting old, but you are forever young, man. So it's cool that you're hitting the gym. That's legit. I should do that.
Yeah, I should be doing it. I should be there now too.
14 hours a day.
Yeah, y'all think I'm bullshit. I'm actually at the gym. Just showing y'all. I gotta have some accountability. So I'm actually at the gym.
So we had a lot of people from LA here over the last week. Some of your friends as well. We had the Miami Blockchain Week. This week is Miami Hack Week, and also last night we had the first ever in-person Web3 Gaming Awards. So obviously a lot of LA people were here.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We had a really cool NFT artist from LA, Brad Schwenik, come out. He's doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger NFTs. Apparently, he's
Oh,
meeting
cool.
Arnold in 2 weeks in Eastern Europe or something. So that was cool.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, we had
That's-
Nick Spanos do our closing party. Brock Pierce did some parties at the Solana Embassy with us, like meet and greets. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll post some of these videos on the thread on Twitter for Blockchain Boost for this
yeah,
week.
share with us.
Yeah. And the reason why
we
my
gotta-
hair is all like this, we were supposed to have NFT barbers out, and the guy they didn't show up, or we didn't have space for them. So I was growing my hair out to get like apes and other things. Like
Oh yeah,
do,
you wanted
so.
it. Pravi always does that. He gets the QR codes shaved into his head and all that. But you know what? You know, I don't have that excuse. I just haven't gotten a haircut. I should start making that excuse. Oh yeah, I was waiting for the crypto barber, and you know, it just didn't happen.
Pravi, you mentioned you was hanging out with Brock Pierce. We actually hang out at his residence here in DC. When I work with the Government Blockchain Association, we have meetups every month at his mansion here in DC and talk about crypto stuff and have a meetup. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I think like if you guys want to do it maybe in person, Blockchain Boost, the next one, we're gonna start doing Crypto Mondays in Vegas now. So maybe you guys can just try it. Next one's gonna
Blockchain and booze in Vegas could be
dangerous. February 20th is our first one.
Let's figure it out. We should plan one. I just got to plan it around my travel or some situation. I've got the next few weeks actually booked in advance, which is not totally normal. But let's figure it out. I'll hit you up. We got to get moving. Just one funny thing. I gotta get moving so everyone can come backstage. If you're watching, go to blockchainboost.io. It'll redirect you to the DGH site, and you can turn on your camera in about 2 minutes when we finish this. I just want to say something funny because Coop is outside of LA Fitness. You were sharing it, and we drive by.
He gave him that plug.
There's an LA Fitness next to where we live, and we drive by it all the time. And one day, I don't remember how it was brought up, but somehow my kids thought it was a super fancy place, and they thought it was La Fitness, like it was like French or fancy or something. That was pretty awesome. You know, like one of those little kids moments where you're like, huh? It was pretty sick. Go have your fancy pants workout at La Fitness, bro. And we'll see you next week on Blockchain and Boost. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you all soon.
While I was out there, I was out there at Quantum. I had them the Spirit Punk sponsor them for the alcohol in the back. So I actually had an opportunity to talk to Brock Pierce and Nick Spanos when I was out there. That was pretty.
Yeah, why don't you hit me up next time? I
was trying to get at you when I was out there, but we didn't. We didn't cross paths for whatever reason that may be.
We got to do it. And how come timed? I didn't see any selfies with my with Punk Ape Strong on a board vodka bottle. That
was a big conversation in itself. But we will talk more about it later on or something. But yeah, I should have.
I'm just messing with you. Bye, guys. I'll see you guys all backstage. Remember, go blockchainboost.io, and you'll be able to turn on your camera and hang with the community. See you guys.
All right. Peace, fellas and ladies. Peace.